Hi friends, welcome to Cat's Corner. It's been a little over a month again. Oops. It's been kind of a crazy month though. So you'll see probably why I haven't had too much time to record. You can find me on Ravelry as CatStraight. You can find our group Cat's Corner and the forums if you want to join in. Not too very chatty, but you're welcome to join in, and if I hopefully have time to respond. I always read everything and then don't have time to respond, and then whenever I do have time I don't remember. So, you know, that's how that is. For the board gaming portion at the end, you can find me on Board Game Geek as Maureen A. Sedai, which we haven't been doing much of that, but we'll get to that come gaming news playtime thing. Yep. Okay. I actually wrote stuff down today, so hopefully I don't get confused. Since I'm trying to do this once a month, I figured I probably should start writing stuff down so I can hopefully keep track of what I talked about last time. I know where to pick up, because I don't really remember, and I don't really want to watch myself, if that makes any sense. But, so what's been going on this month? Oh, I forgot the dates. Today is October the 19th. It is Sunday. Saints football. Go Saints. Yep. I forgot to write the episode number down. Oh, episode, I think it's 18. Hold on. I'm going to check real quick. I'm going to be bad. 20. Episode 20. Let me write that down. See, I'm trying to be organized, and I'm probably less organized. But it's episode 20, and the title, I actually have a title in advance this time, is the month of festivals. That is why it's been so hard for me to get any recording done. Every weekend, which is when I record, usually on a Saturday or Sunday, we have pretty much been gone. Or I've been so exhausted from going that I haven't had the energy to think and try to do any sort of recording. Some of the festivals we have been to already, and the month is not even over, I've already taken Linus to 2 pumpkin patches. We've gone to 2 parish fairs, which if you're not from Louisiana, you may not know what a parish is. A parish is pretty much what most other states consider counties, but we're Louisiana, so we have to be weird, and they're called parishes. Which I could probably get into more of an explanation of that, but yeah, it has to do with the culture that lived here and how the Catholic Church divided their parishes up, sort of thing. But, you know, if you're interested in finding out exactly why we're considered parishes and not counties, feel free to go look that up yourself. But 2 parish fairs. He's been to a wooden boat festival, and oh yeah, yesterday was Oktoberfest. We went to Oktoberfest yesterday, and we still have another Halloween thing to go to, a Halloween party for him, a Halloween picnic, possibly another pumpkin patch, and then there's Halloween. Yeah. Plus all his play dates with his friends, and he's 2.5. And I already feel exhausted. It's gonna be like when he actually has, like, lots of friends. I'm gonna go crazy. That's all there is to it. We are now at 27 weeks pregnant. So what's that? I have 13 weeks left. Yay! Can't wait. Just needs to come and be done. And getting into that uncomfortable stage. And if I'm really kind of like out of it and loopy, and I mean I probably have like black circles under my eyes and everything today, because yeah, somebody woke up really early and Daddy didn't realize that it was still really early and not his normal time that he wakes up. So I put him in bed with us. So Mommy woke up at 3:30 in the morning because she couldn't fall asleep, back asleep. But that did prompt some baking. Already done 2 loaves of pumpkin bread. Once I get some more flour, there will be 2 loaves of banana bread. And for his Halloween party on Friday, there will be cookie bouquets, but not in the bouquets, because I'm not going that far for 2, 3, 4-year-olds for a Halloween party. I don't think so. But I'll take pictures of it all, and this probably is not going to go up right today like I normally do, because I'm going to attempt to do some video editing sometime during the week. Cross your fingers. And maybe be able to insert some pictures of some stuff. So we'll see. Other things to talk about, the VKN. I have a thread, which is probably the most active thread in the forums for this podcast. And it's our VKN forum. I'm trying to get maybe 2 VKNs a month. If you're not familiar with what a VKN is, it's a virtual knit night. But seriously, knit, crochet, whatever. I don't care. You can do whatever. Basically just so we can talk and share crafty time together. And that's been going pretty good. Getting a little bit of a core group. Amelia from House and Hanks. I tend to VKN with her a lot, and she tries to get in on whenever she can. Christy Rose, if you know her, she's just one of our members. She's super cool. Holly Dapp, no, Lupin's Own Jacob. Yeah, who does the Swift Knits. She's out of town. She's actually in America right now. Have a good trip. If you're watching, probably not going to watch this until you get back to your house. But whatever. And Amanda Bug from Mando Bug Crafts. She's been starting to join us now too, and it's been lots of fun. I am supposed to be having one on this Friday, the 24th. I usually have them around 7 Central. That's just easier for me on Fridays usually. Just check the forum and see when we're scheduling one. I've been putting a link in there whenever I set up the VKN in case anybody so happens to wish to join in who hasn't mentioned they wanted to in the thread. They can just click on and come in, and you know, we're open to it. Come and join us. So be checking for that. Hopefully this will get up before Friday and you'll know to come in and check. So let's get into the fun crafty stuff. I'm playing with my pencil. Yeah. I can't sit still. Okay, so finished objects. I don't remember what you've seen, what you haven't seen, what I've discussed last time. I think the stuff that I finished last time I haven't even touched. I don't even remember what it was. But this is what I think I've finished since last time I've talked to y'all. I've made a couple little soap savers. And this is just one of them for some gifts for Christmas. This particular one that I've been doing is the Pampering Massage Soap Saver by Tamara Kelly. And I've just been using some random Lilies and Cream yarn that I have. It's a crochet pattern. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm buying some handmade soaps that we like to use, and probably some bath salts and stuff, and I'm going to be giving those to sisters and sister-in-laws just to pamper themselves, so that'll be part of their Christmas present. So I have this one, and then I made one for us, and I think I have 2 more to make whenever I feel the need to make another one. They're like super quick. I think it took me like maybe an hour or 2, if that. So yeah, quick little gifts for some nice handmade soaps. Always fun. And a different play on the washcloth. So I'm actually enjoying using mine. I like it's very scrubby. Like you really want to know all that, but okay, if you do, you know it now. What else? I have no idea what this yarn is. This was, you know, I didn't even think, did I buy any yarn? Ooh. I don't think I bought any yarn recently. I totally forgot to write that part down. If I've acquired anything. We'll see as I talk. But this was probably an acquisition. I went in to get a pair of needles because I was going to make the whippoorwill, which was very lovely, gifted to me by Amelia from Hops and Hanks as a prize for one of her knit-along things. I don't remember what it was for though, what type of knit-along it was. Don't remember, but I had just finished the Steggy little jacket thing for Linus, so I put that in, and she picked that as her favorite, and so I got a free pattern, which I chose the whippoorwill. I balled up some yarn for it, then realized I did not have the right size needle. So I went to my local yarn store to get the right needle, and they were out and they were on order. So while I was there and asking them if they could order the needle for me, I also asked them if by any chance they were going to do another mystery random bag of fingering weight yarn, because I don't have a lot of fingering weight yarn because I'm just starting to get into that size of yarn, and most of the yarn that I buy whenever I do use it that I've bought for myself is blue, and so I'm attempting to do this sock yarn blanket, which is not seeming very much work because I have lots and lots of blue, and I don't want this huge patch of blue on my blanket. So I had bought, if y'all remember from several episodes ago, I had bought I think it was like, they called it a 1 pound bag of, basically it's like scrap yarn that they've used for some of their samples. So I asked them, I said, if y'all ever get another one, you know, let me know and I will buy them from y'all, because I need to get some stash up on that. Well, they called me when my needle came in and said that they also had a bag of yarn for me. Fabulous! Got the bag of yarn. There was a decent amount of yarn left in a lot of the balls that they had. So this was one of them. I don't know what the brand is because they don't have the labels or anything left on them. But this was what the colorway wound up looking like. And this pattern that I'm showing you is the Felicity Mitts by Cloud House Studio. And it was a variegated yarn that actually wound up striping up kind of interestingly. This one I think is my favorite, how it's striped up. This one kind of did some major pooling right there, so it's different. I think what happened was, I think I was knitting tighter on this one, so whenever I loosened up, I started to get into more of the striping. It was starting to stripe again by the time I loosened up and realized what was going on. But this is a cute little pattern. It's got like this little frilly lace bottom edging. Which I'm putting it on the wrong hand. I'm supposed to be going and getting some buttons from my stash of buttons, which is pretty huge, and use a little bit more yarn and thread the yarn through these. There's these little eyelets, you can see. Thread it through there, come around to this side where it's got the little V, and put the button right there, so it'll have like a little extra pizzazz, if you want to call it. This is what they look like. I haven't put pictures up on Ravelry yet, on my Ravelry page for them, because I haven't had anyone to take the picture of them for me. This is what they look like. These are for me. I almost ran out of yarn on them, so one's like one row shorter than the other one. And then I saved the thumbs for the very end, and they actually had a yarn that was, I think it was probably the same brand of yarn and the same style, just different colorway, but it was so close to the teal that's in there that I just did those for the thumbs, and I don't think it looks bad at all. But this is the color that I'm going to be using for the looping through the holes. But these I basically consider finished, and they still smell good from washing them. But this was a fairly simple pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. What was the other thing? The Soap Savers was a free pattern on Ravelry too. So if you're interested in those. I haven't made mitts for myself before, so I was very excited. Those colors are so pretty. You see those colors? And that's pretty close to how it actually looks. The brown color is a little bit more of a goldeny brown. But, yeah, these are mine. I did learn something new with these, which is the tubular cast-off. You have a tubular cast-off right here along the top edge, which I thought was going to be very difficult, which I found to be actually fairly simple. So if you are worried about doing a tubular bind-off, or I guess it's also considered an I-cord bind-off, or no, it's I-cord bind-off tubular cast-on, is that what it is? I attempted a tubular cast-on a different project that I frogged, which that didn't turn out so well. The I-cord bind-off is fairly easy. I didn't find it to be too complicated at all. Once you did one or two little rows of it, if I can do it, then most other people can do it, because my brain doesn't work right now. So if my brain wrapped around it, then you should be able to figure it out too. I just basically searched for it on YouTube or the internet and just saw how to do it. But these are mine. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Exciting. I made stuff for myself. Especially since it's Christmas season. But I don't have all that much Christmas stuff left to make. I think it helped making a lot of it earlier than the year. And then some people are just not getting handmade gifts this year. Because I couldn't think of anything. I got store-bought gifts. Or going to get store-bought gifts. So, Felicity Mitts. Cute, 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 cute. finished object that you haven't seen before. Oh, and this was probably an acquisition? No. I think I showed y'all the... No, I didn't. So whenever I went in to pick up the other yarn, I think I picked this up too, because I had a $20 credit. So, this is the Chevron Infinity Scarf Cowl by Deja Jetmir, Dejajetmir. It's supposed to have an edging around it, which I chose not to do. It is a free crochet pattern on Ravelry. And it's basically just chevron all the way. And it showed you kind of how to do the seaming for the chevron, which that was what I was most concerned with. But I don't think it came out too bad. There's my seam, which you probably can't even tell. I think I must have done a pretty good job, I think. It's right there where the gray and the green, kind of dark green. It's right there. So, this was actually, the yarn for it is Unisono. It is 100% merino extra fine, and the colorway, I guess, is 1280. I bought this yarn. I'm assuming it was a discontinued color because it was in the discounted bin, and they have tons of this brand in the shop, so I'm assuming the color's been discontinued. With the intent of making something for myself. I started a lace pattern cowl that used sport weight yarn, because I think this is a sport weight. That cowl got frogged after several attempts on the lace pattern. I don't know why. It was a simple lace pattern. My brain could not do it for nothing. I got about 4-5 rows into the lace pattern. I had extra stitches, and I'm sitting here like, no, I can't, and I couldn't figure out where it was that I messed up. So I ripped back to the first couple rounds where I just did some garter stitching. Started doing the lace again. Extra stitches again on a different row. Ripped back, attempted again. Too few stitches. So I finally just frogged the whole thing. I'm like, no, apparently my brain will not do lace right now. So then I was like, oh, this would be really pretty as fingerless mitts. So I attempted a fingerless mitt pattern that had a tubular cast on. That cast on did not work so well. Now I had just frogged the cowl when I started working on the mitts. So as soon as that tubular cast on didn't work, it got frogged too. Nope. So I was like, I'm finding a simple pattern to do it, because I wanted to use this yarn, because it feels good. It's very nice feeling. So found the chevron pattern. I had been looking at it for a while, wanting to do something with it, and I was like, let me just go ahead and try it. I think the pattern's for a little bit thicker weight yarn, but I mean, it's just changing basically the width, and then I just crocheted the entire ball, the entire skein of yarn. So however long it was going to be is how long it was going to be. So this is the cowl. After I finished making it, I didn't think I was going to like it for myself. So I was going to give it as a gift until I wore it to one of the fairs, because it was chilly in the morning, but it was supposed to get hot later in the day. So in the morning I wore it kind of up around my neck, and then whenever that was probably about like 70, 75. Yeah, our temperature's been crazy. Starts off like 70, 75 in the morning, nice and chilly and cold where you want something, just something light on you. And then by lunchtime it's like 85 again. So once it hit 85, here it comes down. Now I just have this long cowl that's nice and lightweight and pretty and just decorative, and didn't make me hot. So I actually wound up liking it. So I kept it instead of giving it, because I initially bought the yarn for myself. So why not keep it for myself? So I actually made a couple things for myself. What? That's very exciting. So that's another finished object. Another finished object. I also did the Rhino Romper by Laura Savitsnuk, S-A-V-A-S-T-I-N-U-K, however you say that. And I think I might have talked about wanting to do this, but not having enough yarn for it. So the mother-in-law sent me some more yarn, which wound up being slightly different than the yarn she initially bought me. What she initially bought me was the Sunrise Fibers Company spun tweed Aran in the Neon Flamingo. And when she bought extra for me, she bought 2 extra ones for me just to make sure I had enough, she bought the Sunrise Fibers Company spun Aran in the Neon Flamingo, which was fine because, I mean, look how pretty those colors are. Let's see, I think I still have a ball of it, a little bit of a ball left to make a little hat. So it just doesn't have the little tweed flecks in it. So it was still gorgeous. So she bought me 2, so I had enough to make it. This is the Sunrise Fibers logo. And this is 100% superwash merino, and each skein was 181 yards. There, that's where I'm putting them. So I also used at the top, I wonder if I still have that tag in here, probably not. I think I might have picked it up. It was Fiber Song. Wait, I think I just found it. Found it! Woohoo! Fibra Natura Sea Song. Which is 80% cotton, 20% seashell, which is kelp fiber, in the colorway 40107. So my plan for it was to make it kind of look like a flower, since, you know, I mean, those colors just kind of remind the pink. How could that be a flower? So the green is supposed to be like the stem and stuff, and then the rest of it's supposed to remind me of the flower, which I had found. I had these little clear pink flower buttons that I put on. The pattern is for short sleeves and shorts. I made long pants, long sleeves, because we tend to keep the house pretty cold, because my husband likes it really cold. And she's going to be born in the winter time. So, but after I blocked it, it looks like it's stretched out a good bit. And I did the 3-month size, so she might not get into this until she's like 6 months. That's okay. Whenever she fits it, she fits it. And got the little flower buttons on the bottom too. So you have she tells you can have the choice of either making the buttonholes and sewing the buttons on, or doing the snaps. So we discussed what we thought would be better for our needs, and my husband said that he thought he would like actual buttons instead of snaps. So that is what we did. And so it just buttons up along the bottom button band, and it's still curly. And I gotta go close the door because I'm gonna pause real quick. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully I can combine these without making a big mess of the video, but I'm gonna try. But the husband just got home with Linus and all the groceries, so yeah. But so that is the Rhino Romper. I do have one thing to say about this yarn. Working with it, it started to feel kind of more like acrylic yarn to me than like wool. Like it had that kind of, just kind of felt like plasticky and squishy, like kind of like squeaky almost. But once it got a nice wash in a bath, it feels a lot nicer. So if you are interested in this yarn, the Sunrise Fibers, just know that once you wash it to start blocking it, it does start to feel a little bit nicer. I don't know if it's just the dye that did it or what. That smells good too. But that is the Rhino Romper. And I think, one thing I was working on last episode was the crocodile stitch boots slippers. Those are finished. Those have been given to the father-in-law to give to his wife, to give to, I think, her daughter. I think it was her daughter she wanted me to make them for her for. So let me find a picture so I can show you, and if I can figure out how to insert a picture, I'll put a bigger picture up for you. But this is how they came out. So those are the crocodile stitch boots. That pattern is a paid pattern. On Ravelry, it is by Bonita Patterns. And if you crochet at all and you've been scared about possibly doing the crocodile stitch boot, let me tell you, don't be afraid. It's not as difficult as it looks. It's a little fiddly, just moving the project around, trying to get the right angle to do the crocodile stitches. But other than that, it wasn't all that difficult. The thing I had the most problem with was finding where I was going to be starting and stopping things and counting the stitches. That was actually the hardest part for me. So that is done, and she says that she still wants to pay me for them after she already sent me money for the materials and stuff, and I had a little extra money left over, and she bought me this extra yarn, and I told her, I said, don't worry about it. I said, I owed you for the yarn, you know, don't worry about it. Well, apparently she still wants to give me some more money, so whatever. Whatever she gives me, whatever. I'm cool with how it is. But, so, we'll see. If I do get anything else, I'll let you know. Who knows? But those slippers, let me tell you, her daughter apparently has close to the same size foot as I do, and my foot's getting just a little bit bigger now from being pregnant, so I'm probably more closer to an 8.5 now instead of an 8. So I was trying them on just to, you know, make sure that they were going to fit her. Oh my gosh, those things are so cute. I am, you'll be seeing me working on another pair of those really soon, once I can figure out what yarn will work for them that I like for me. So I'm not going to do green. I'm going to do something fun. It has to be fun. And then Linus might get a pair, and Lucy might get a pair, and Nate might get a pair. And next year for Christmas, all the sisters and sister-in-laws might be getting a pair, just because it's so cool. But we'll see. We'll see how tired I get of the pattern. But I loved it. So I highly recommend that pattern if you're interested in them. Very, very fun. So my last finished object is a huge one. It wasn't very hard, but it's very big. This is my first Christmas gift of the season, I guess you can consider it. I've made other Christmas gifts in the past, and I've made the little soap saver, but that's just like part of a gift. But this is the gift for my youngest brother. We're big into like the video games and everything like that, so I was having a hard time figuring out what to make for him. I finally thought of something awesome. I was going to make one of the poof pillow things, like the big poof pillow things, but I was going to make it a Pac-Man. Well, I didn't have yellow yarn that I thought would be good for it, because he lives with other guys, his roommates and stuff, and they're mostly college students still. And I'm sorry I'm getting kicked right now. So if I start making faces, I'm sorry. They have several cats. Each one has like their own cat, and some of them haven't been declawed. So I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on good yarn for this for him, knowing that it's going to be on the ground, and pretty much a bunch of bachelor's apartment. That ain't happening. But I went through what yarn I did have that I would be willing to use to make it, and I found some of the, sorry, I'm getting kicked like really bad right now. And she's very, she's getting close to the ribs again. It's some old Jiffy Thick and Quick, I think. It's on my Ravelry notes. My Ravelry project page. Somebody's barbecuing outside. I smell it. But what I did was I made a Pac-Man ghost instead. I just made a big huge ball, pretty much, then stuffed them, made some little swirly things, crocheted up into little swirly things around the bottom, and then put the googly eyes on, and so he has a little Pac-Man ghost. And let's see if I can get the color for you. Yeah, it's a lot more green. For some reason this color, whenever I tried to photo it and everything, it always comes out like more blue. It's called forest green. But yeah, it's my Pac-Man ghost. And it's heavy. So that is his Christmas present. And I basically didn't use a pattern. I just, like I said, made a really huge big ball and stuffed it, and then made some eyes, and then just did some crochet type shell things on the bottom after I figured out where I thought they needed to go. And that's what I did. Somebody's cooking some good food. I have the window open, and somebody's definitely barbecuing outside. It smells good. And where did I put my show notes? Oh, there they are. Okay, so what am I working on right now? Not a whole lot, because I just finished most of this stuff up within the past week or two, and I haven't had a chance to really go through everything and see what I wanted to do next. But what I am working on is I am started the Blooming Flower Cushion by Lucy of Attic 24. And I just started this yesterday, so I'm not very far. I have a bunch of other colors that I'm going to be adding to it. A mommy friend of mine does crocheting, and she had a bunch of like Red Heart yarn and what this Craft Smart yarn is that she used for some blankets. So it's just cheap acrylic yarn. And she said, you know, if you want it, you can have it. And I'm like, well, I'll take it, and if I can't use it, if it's not colors I like, I'll just pass it on to someone else who I think would use it. Well, I passed on the colors that I did not want. And the colors I did want, I started making the flower pillow. So, if you haven't seen what it looks like, you really need to look. They are super, super cute. It's just like tons and tons and tons and tons of petals. So this one is probably going to be for my sister for Christmas. So this is probably going to be her gift. And then I'll be making another one once I figure out. I might have to go get a couple greens because I'm thinking of putting some on our living room. Our living room has a lot of green colors and stuff, greens and browns. But I might make one with the pretty colors too. But I've started on that. I am using a size F hook. Most of the other stuff I don't remember what needle I used at all, or hook. But I know this one is F hook right now. So I am working on that. I think I have like 8 or 9 different colors I'm going to be using in it. And then just alternating them. And the other thing I am working on is I'm calling it Daddy's Street Vest because I am using the Street Vest pattern, which is for like toddlers and kids, by Jolene Mosley, which is I made that for Linus. There's a little blue vest that has like a cable running down just one side. So I am attempting to make an adult size one with the cable so that it'll kind of be kind of matching, kind of not. And the yarn I'm using is some hand spun yarn that I got in Oregon. You remember, shop owner. I think I got a little twisted. But I did the ribbing, and I am holding off until I can get some more measurements to figure out how far in I'm going to be going for the armholes. So I know where to start placing the cable pattern, because it only goes down one side and it's in the middle of the sleeve. So I want to make sure I get that placed properly. So this has been on hold for a little while until I can have time to sit there and look through some other vest patterns to see how many stitches they go in on each side, and then how many stitches they go in on the neck. So that's my other project, and that's pretty much the only 2 things I've been working on. I do have plans to start another project. Don't know what it's going to be. So if I haven't started one by the time I post this, feel free to post or comment what you think might work. I'm almost positive these are the exact same yarns. They look exactly the same to me. I weighed them. They're both fingering weight yarns from my mystery bag. I weighed each ball and then kind of took an average of what a fingering weight yarn should be. So one ball is roughly about 173 yards, and the other one should be roughly about 800 or 86 yards. 800, yeah. If I had 800 yards, I don't think I'd have a trouble finding something to do. So I have probably about, I want to say 250 yards total, give or take. So I think it's going to be the same type of yarn that I did the Felicity mitts out of, and that's pretty close to the color. It has the same color shine to it and kind of looks like the same spin on it and everything. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know what you think I might do. I'm thinking of doing another set of mitts with it, but I'm not sure. But this is the yarn I think I want to use next. On to paper crafting and other crafty things. I haven't made any more progress on my tutus. I have one halfway done, like I still had it halfway done last time, but nothing else lately. I did finish the baby shower invitations. And this is how they came out. So I have a little two-layered onesie. Then I cut out some tulle and glued it on. Got some ribbon and a bow and just slapped it on there, glued it on. And then I'm going to kind of hide some stuff. Boop, boop, boop. And then I just did a little printout for the inside, which if I would have had a little bit more time, it would have been a lot nicer, but I needed to get them out. I was hoping to have a 2-layer and then maybe have a little bit of glitter or something on the inside, some sort of decoration, but that's how it came out. So I think it came out pretty good, other than not being completely satisfied with how it looks on the inside, but it needed to be done quickly to get it out on time. I'm also working on making some Christmas gift tags that I'll be wind up putting up in my Etsy shop and also using for myself, if I can get the Cricut Craft Room to work. I've been struggling with it for the past 2 weeks now, and it just keeps freezing, like in the middle of cutting or trying to load the mat or just trying to load the program in general. My husband spent like an hour, maybe 2 hours, trying to get it fixed this morning, and every time he got it fixed it would freeze at a different point. So yeah, so that not going so well. I'd like to get them done soon so I can have them up before November starts, but we'll see. I think that's all the craftiness. So if you're finished with the crafting and you don't want to listen to the gaming portion, then I'll see y'all later. If you're ready for some gaming, let's log our plays. The game we're going to talk about today is Dakota. I'm going to try and set it up on the table in a little while and actually video it differently, because it's getting very hard for me to try and explain some of our games, because most of our games have lots and lots of pieces, and I just can't keep holding everything up and showing out. So I'm going to try and start doing 2 videos and then hopefully combining them together. If the board gaming portion runs too long, I'll probably just make it a completely separate video upload, and y'all can see that then too, and it'd be 2 different ones. So stay tuned for, hopefully, crossing fingers that I actually get it done right, a video sort of tutorial review, whatever you want to call it, of Dakota. It's a semi-cooperative individual game. If I'm not able to do it, I will, next time I record, hopefully next month, have just do it like I've normally been doing. I know the Fiber and Dice podcast has started doing that too, where she's been starting to lay everything out and record that way. Sorry. I've been meaning to do it for a long time. I just can't figure out video editing, which is why I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to try and make myself do it this time. We'll see. But other than that, we haven't done, I don't think, any board gaming at all this month. None. Zilch. Have been getting in some online gaming with Dungeons and Dragons Online with my brother. So we've been doing that. I'm now a level 8 wizard. Yay! It's really hard to level up if you're trying to go completely free on that game. But level 8 now. And it's usually just us two who are playing, so it's pretty good that we've managed to make it that far. So that's pretty much it, and hopefully you will soon get a video of Dakota.